Our world is rife with secrets and mysteries. The more we learn about nature of land and sea and everything in between, we also learn that we don't know much about the world. From amazing creatures to man-made buildings that leave us in awe in the present day, there is still so much that we are trying to figure out and understand about our history. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 mysterious and ancient discoveries. Saksayhuaman in Peru. The word Saksayhuaman comes from the Quechua language, translates roughly to royal eagle, or more literally, the place where the hawk was satiated. It is thought that it gained this name due to the high presence of these birds in the area where the structure was built. Saksayhuaman is an architectural complex in the city of Cusco, Peru. The building was erected by the Incas in the 15th century under the 9th Incan leader, Pachacuti Inca Yupanqui, and his successors. A project as massive as this necessitated the hard work of at least 20,000 labourers, which were divided by the thousands and given jobs such as quarrying duties, digging trenches, and laying the foundations of this huge monument. This fortress is the largest built by the Incas. It was constructed on an elevated rocky head facing the northern marshy ground outside the Incan capital, Cusco. The Incas were known as master stonemasons, and their abilities are demonstrated wonderfully in this building. It was built using dry stone walls and boulders that were fit tightly together using mortar. Although they did not use anything to cement the stones together, their mechanics ensured that the building stood strong and stable. The huge blocks of stone making up the temple were shaped using nothing but harder rocks and bronze tools. Based on the marks left on these stones, researchers believe they were mostly pounded into shape rather than being cut. The blocks must have been moved around using ropes, levers, poles, and earth-made ramps. This is evident due to the indentations that remained on the stones even after they were fit into place in the building. It was built to withstand earthquakes and the damage from such natural disasters through the interlocking of the blocks and sloped walls, which maximized protection. It is definitely apparent that this proved to be successful, as the building has survived over 500 years of earthquakes. The area also contains a variety of buildings, such as residential spaces, towers, holy places, warehouses, roadways, and aqueducts. The positioning and placing of the area is similar to other Incan locations, like the Machu Picchu. It stands as a testament to the Incas' skills in architecture and their ability to create a structure that worked in harmony with the natural landscape of the place. It is simply incredible to see the remains of history and the magnificent skills and abilities of those who lived before us, and to be able to witness the architectural pursuits that were accomplished without the use of modern technology and resources. Archimedes Screw. The Archimedes Screw is an invention that is dated to have been around since 250 BCE or earlier. It is shaped like a large helix that is open at both ends and is encased within a watertight cylinder. When one of the opened ends is placed in water at a slightly tilted vertical angle and the screw is turned, water is trapped within it and rises to exit at the opposite end. Continuously turning the screws results in a steady stream of water. The tool works in areas where water needs to be raised from a lower level of 5 feet. It is most efficient in such cases, as 2 men can drain a sufficient amount of water within an hour time frame and seems to be one of the best ancient inventions for this purpose. Not only is it simple in configuration, but it also has the additional advantage of working to move even water that might contain mud, gravel, or sand. There are 2 types of this screw, the open screw and the enclosed screw. The open screw rotates in a trough. In the enclosed screw, both the screw and enclosing cylinder rotate. The enclosed screw is quite similar to the open one, although there are a few differences. Because the flights are welded to the outer cylinder, there is no backflow and water does not slip out. This means that if the pump is stopped, water is retained within the screw, which is useful as it leads to higher pump efficiency. The Archimedes screw proved such a useful tool that it is still used in modern forms today. It is usually electrically powered and ranges in size from 1/4 of an inch to 12 feet. Today, these tools are referred to as screw conveyors and are primarily used to propel dry bulk materials. It is the easiest and simplest low-tech tool to use for raising water if you don't have a generator pump. Giant monoliths at Baalbek. In the modern city of Baalbek, Lebanon, are several massive monoliths known to be the largest in the world. Baalbek was under Roman rule for a period of time, in which it was referred to as Heliopolis, or City of the Sun. The stones were cut and carved to be used for one of the grandest and largest temples to the Roman god Jupiter, known by the Greeks as Zeus. The temple features one of the most awe-inspiring megalithic foundations, consisting of 27 enormous limestone blocks. 3 of the largest make up the base, and are known as the Trilithon, with each weighing at least 1,000 tons. Aside from those 3, are 2 other monoliths, larger and heavier than the ones actually used for the temple. One of those was the stone of the pregnant woman. The other is known as the Stone of the South and is even heavier. The Stone of the Pregnant Woman was first thought to be the largest monolith discovered. Analyses of the size and weight of the enormous monolith in Baalbek, Lebanon, by the German Archaeological Institute revealed that the megalithic block was one of the largest ever discovered. Its name comes from stories and legends that a pregnant woman tricked villagers into believing that she would be able to move it if they fed her until she gave birth. Other stories say that the name comes from legends that pregnant jinn were assigned the task of cutting and moving the stones. There are even some who believe that a woman who touches the stone raises her chances at fertility. The blocks originated from a limestone quarry nearby. The monoliths are thought to date back at least 2,000 years, or to around 27 BC. Although they were probably intended to be used for a temple to Jupiter, these stones never made it to the building, laying at a distance of 900 meters away from the Heliopolis temple complex. Experts believe this is because they turned out to be too heavy to transport. Researchers also discovered later that a crack in the stone of the pregnant woman must have been the reason why it, specifically, was never transported. The Stone of the South was discovered after the Stone of the Pregnant Woman, as it rests underneath the latter and was mostly buried under a few feet of dirt. The Stone of the South is now the largest known ever carved by human hands, at 1,242 tons. These monoliths are thought to have probably been cut in the same way as the masonry used in the Pont de Garde, a Roman aqueduct in southern France. Each piece would have been split from a larger expanse of limestone along natural fissures. Because they would have been too heavy to lift, they were likely pulled using a capstan, like a human-driven winch, or using a sledge. Despite these stones being a possible disappointment to their carvers, as they turned out to be useless for the purposes of the temple, the Stone of the Pregnant Woman and the Stone of the South both set a world record for the biggest boulders ever discovered. It is incredible to imagine that people in the past, with their limited technologies and resources, were able to cut and carve such massive blocks of stone in order to raise temples and monuments. These discoveries and inventions all remain a testament to humans and their incredible abilities to create, innovate, and develop tools and creations that leave their marks. Although we may never have all the answers to how these monuments came about, or what technologies were used to raise such profound monuments, we can be quite certain of the abilities and marksmanship of those who lived before us. But what do you make of these mysterious ancient discoveries? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.